When it comes to iconic horror characters, few debates ignite as much passion as the question, who is the definitive Jason Voorhees? While names like Ken Kirzinger and Derek Mears often enter the ring, one figure stands head and shoulders above the rest, Kane Hodder. But what makes Hodder the undisputed king of Crystal Lake? Let's dive into the story of the man behind the mask, and trust me, it's more fascinating than any slasher flick. But here's where it gets controversial. While some argue that other actors brought their own unique flair to the role, Hodder's portrayal of Jason isn't just about the kills. It's about the transformation of a character from a silent slasher into a cinematic legend. And this is the part most people miss. Hodder's journey to becoming Jason is as gripping as any horror movie plot. Born in Auburn, California, in the mid-1950s, Hodder's early life was marked by bullying and isolation. Seeking solace, he eventually found his calling in stunt work, a decision that would change his life forever. At just 22, a tragic accident left him with severe burns across his body. An event that could have ended his career before it truly began. Yet, Hodder's resilience was as unyielding as Jason's machete. He bounced back, landing roles in films like Alligator, 1980, and Avenging Force, 1986, before a pivotal moment in Rennie Harlin's Prison, 1987, set the stage for his destiny. Enter John Carl Buechler, the special effects maestro who would later direct Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. After seeing Hodder's work, Buechler knew he'd found his Jason, even replacing the incumbent C.J. Graham, who had hoped to make the character his own. But here's the kicker. Graham wasn't bitter. He recognized Hodder's talent, a testament to just how exceptional Hodder's portrayal would become. Hodder's debut as Jason in Part 7 wasn't just groundbreaking, it was record-breaking. Remember those burns from his accident? Hodder turned them into a strength, performing the longest on-screen controlled burn in Hollywood history. Talk about commitment. While Part 7 may have toned down the gore, Hodder's portrayal of the newly zombified Jason cemented his place in horror history. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. When production began on Jason Takes Manhattan, the studio initially sought a Canadian actor due to filming locations. They assumed Hodder wouldn't return, but he did, convincing Paramount to bring him back. This marked a turning point. Jason became the undisputed star of the franchise, with Hodder even appearing as the character on the Arsenio Hall show. Fun fact, Hodder was briefly considered for the role of Freddy Krueger due to his burn accident, adding another layer to his horror legacy. As the franchise shifted from Paramount to New Line, Hodder's reign continued. While Jason Goes to Hell gave him less screen time as Jason, thanks to the bizarre heart-passing plot, he still made his mark, both as an FBI agent and as the man wielding Freddy's glove to drag Jason to hell. This dual role solidified his status as the only actor to portray Jason, Freddy, and Leatherface, thanks to his stunt work in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. Off-screen, Hodder's kindness shone as brightly as his on-screen brutality. He took time to comfort a frightened child on set, explaining the reality of burns with empathy. This duality, a vicious killer on screen, a compassionate soul off, is what makes Hodder so unforgettable. Hodder's final outing as Jason came in Jason X, though fans still lament that he wasn't in Freddy vs. Jason. Yet his legacy endures. He went on to play Victor Crowley in the Hatchet series, a role that feels like a spiritual successor to Jason. But let's be clear, no one has ever worn the hockey mask with as much gravitas as Hodder. And this is the part most people miss. While his films may not be the best in the series, Hodder's ability to elevate subpar material is what makes him the greatest Jason. On set, he was a prankster, a collaborator, and a mentor, making every production better. On screen, he transformed a one-dimensional slasher into a captivating force, all without uttering a single word. Jason didn't have a personality before Hodder, and he lost it after. For 4 films, Hodder gave us the Jason we deserved. So here's the question. Can anyone truly replace Kane Hodder as Jason Voorhees? Let's debate it in the comments. And while you're at it, check out our exclusive interview with the man himself, because once you've seen Kane Hodder in action, you'll understand why he's the undisputed king of Crystal Lake.